I was foreign minister from 1994 to 2004. Prior to that, Minister Wong Kan Seng was the foreign minister. The decision to move to Tanglin had been taken in principle during Mr. Wong Kan Seng's time. At that time, MFA was occupying 7 floors or so at the Raffles City building in town. We could not claim exclusive privilege to use the lift. When we had a visiting dignitary or foreign minister, we had to go through a lot of red tape to get the building management just to reserve the lift for a short while. And there was also not a feeling of collegiality or oneness amongst the MFA family. Nobody knew anybody. The world was changing, foreign policy needs were different, and MFA's projections for manpower developments were changing. So when MFA decided on the location and moved into this, I would say that though it was not by deliberate design, a bonus was that we continued to have this defense, security connection as a continuum, British, MINDEF to MFA.
If you actually go back in history, the developments on this hill, in a sense, reflected both the strategic forces across the world, reached halfway around the globe to Singapore, and the history of the people who've worked here, the deployments, the purposes for which these buildings were used, reflect some eternal home truths. Singapore will always be connected to and influenced and impacted by events far, far away. Without those events happening in Europe, so for instance, the British colonization of Southeast Asia, modern Singapore as we know it wouldn't have been here. If there hadn't been the tensions even in the first Crimean War, in the mid-19th century, which required the British to then consider reinforcing their military presence in this part of the world. And again, Singapore's location in a very critical crossroads of the world, both in terms of maritime and indeed aviation links. Again, all that is salient. And similarly, as we in Singapore also undergo a generational change, it's worth the younger generation also being able to reflect on which parts of history rhyme, which eternal truths continue to apply, and why we need to continue to be open and alive to what's happening in the rest of the world, and to find our niche to be relevant and hopefully to maintain peace and prosperity in our part of the world. So in a sense, in my view, there couldn't be a better location for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And of course, the fact that this is home to our diplomats, and at any given time, about half of diplomats are overseas, but this is home base. This is where they come to recharge, to reconnect, to brief us, and also the social dimensions of it. Those are also equally vital and memorable parts of why this venue is important to us.
I hope in the years that follow, there will be an association with the venue, with the quality of the Foreign Service. The building is housing the Foreign Ministry, and if the two combine, can conjure up a favorable image. That building, in Tanglin, right, is the seat of Singapore's diplomacy, and they say it with a sense of respect and regard, then that gives me satisfaction.